Man, alrighty. What is good, guys? I hope that you've been well since the last time that I uploaded a video. If you've been keeping up, you'll know that I've been focusing specifically on my career. The past 2 weeks have been radio advice, and I'm hoping that it helped you in some sort of capacity. I always say, if I just reach out to one person, if I've changed your mind, if I've inspired you in some sort of way, then my job here is absolutely done. Now, if you are new to this little corner of the internet, my name is Carissa Cupido, and I do content on beauty, on hair, on skincare and makeup, and also on thrifted and vintage fashion, a little bit of styling here and there, and most importantly, on purpose pursuing. I do think it's really important to, one, try your best in every single day to discover your purpose and to discover your place in society and your positioning and what you want to get out of this life. I was actually asked by the guys over on Touch HD, which is an internet radio station, how have I never thought about internet radio as an example or as an alternative when looking into getting on some sort of platform. I should have included it in my last week's video as an alternative to get training, to get experience, and also to just kind of be in a space that isn't necessarily locked down or bound. So much policy and so many gatekeepers to the top. I mean, you can start an internet radio station today or even a podcast. So this show was kind of like that. It was about an hour and a half long and is in a podcast format. It's on a show called Sportainment, and man, the energy between the three hosts that were there today is just absolutely beautiful. So shout outs to you. I had a really good time. I think that the synergy was just really working really well, and I do think it's because they also have a focus. So basically their show is at the intersection of sports and entertainment, as you can hear from the name Sportainment, and it also brings in the arts in some sort of way. Of course, today they profiled me in the entertainment segment, and it was really cool. Conversation was just flowing. It didn't feel like a stock standard interview where it's like, what is your name? What do you do? Please inspire the kids of tomorrow. It was literally just like a flow of whatever came to mind, whatever they felt prompted to ask me to. So in the spirit of true transparency and vulnerability, I opened up to them about where I've been, which you've kind of been seeing in the past couple weeks, and also where I'd like to go in the future, and what I'm trying to do with my platform, and what I'm trying to do in the spaces that I always find myself in. And I tried to get as much footage as I could as well while I was in studio. So I'm gonna edit it up, I'm gonna chop it up, I'm gonna include the parts that I really think will add value to your life and that I think are just really important. Excuse the angle, I have to kind of place the camera in a certain way that would capture most of us. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoy this video. If you do give it a thumbs up and comment down below what you took from it as well. And next week I will be back again with some more lifestyle and beauty content. Very excited to get into that after just kind of wearing my heart on my sleeve and putting it out there for all of you to either take in or completely spit out your mouth for the past couple weeks. But thank you for the reception. It's been really affirming, I think would be the best word to use. Not that I'm looking for like outside validation or anything, but I just want to know that I am contributing in a way that's valued, you know? So thank you so much for all of your comments, all of your DMs. So go ahead and watch my interview with Touch HD on Sportainment.
You know what, Nat, let me just, you know, I've just been listening, you know,
yeah.
And I was like, you know, I can hear that the squad is speaking.
Yeah.
But Carissa's also speaking, man.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, bro, you're like, ish. That voice,
when she speaks, man,
yeah,
you can listen to her the whole day.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's this radio station that flop at, Joe? I'm a flop in the lab. We're not even gonna say their name. They don't deserve it, man. Like, not even in a bad way. Like, literally, when just a little, you know, input you've been putting in. Like Kim wants to sing right now.
I mean, I came here to be praised.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Take it, boo.
Let's take this.
But anyway, Kim, what's happening? How are you doing, Carissa?
I'm good. I think the show started off with good energy, which means that I'm even better from when I walked in.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. I think I'm doing a lot better than I was like a couple months ago.
Nice.
I love that, man. You know, but I just want you to really go into. I know we went into detail as to who you are, but I just really want you to like tell people who you are. What do you do? Like you get like such a swag Instagram page. You got the goody. You got the goody.
Showing the most.
The good hair.
Well, I mean, I try. Okay, cool. So my name is Carissa Cupido. I come from Cape Town originally, grew up there, born and bred. So I think that's important because culturally, I feel like I'm a bit different to what Joburg has to offer. And it has made things a little bit difficult. Coming from, I would say, a small city into this huge one. But I think that my ambition didn't really match the surroundings that I was in. Not to say that I was the best in Cape Town, but just foresight. I was kind of going, in 5 years time, I don't really want to be doing what the city has to offer. Because I spoke to enough people that had been doing the same job for 8 years in entertainment, for example, and just saying, get out now, otherwise you're going to get comfortable and you're just never going to move. So in terms of entertainment, that was it. I just keep trying to put myself outside of my comfort zone because I think that when you take a step out, things happen. I don't know, the universe just kind of conspires in your favor. And so far, I think I've had quite a good run. It's been about 4 years commercially speaking. And yeah, right now I'm in a bit of like a transitional phase, but it's okay. I think it also comes with the business. I see it as preparation season for what's coming next. But I'm really glad to be. I've been in Joburg for like a year now. A year and a bit now.
So you just got you.
I would say so. I'm still trying to get used to the pace and the people and
let me tell you the truth, okay? The haters are gonna say I'm lying, alright? The haters gonna think I'm lying. Gauteng is a beautiful province, but the best of the best, capital city.
Here we go.
I do have to say though, I really like how you've kept your Cape Townness. Do you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people want to come to Johannesburg and assimilate, you know, they want to, you know, integrate themselves with the culture and with what everybody's doing. And you know, you've got this like refreshing, cool air about you. I mean, I've never been to Cape Town, but all of the pretentious people that I know that have been are all like,
Camps Bay, the Miami,
you know what I'm saying? So I mean, but from the pictures I've seen and from the people that I know who are from Cape Town, who've been to Cape Town, you know that you do have this breeze. Yes, and keep that going. I really like that about you. It's so authentic. I love that.
But I appreciate that. But I can't also fight or blame people that do try to assimilate. Like, I think for a time I was a little bit mad at that because I was just like, these people are 25 steps ahead of me because they're playing the game. And I think that's cool. I just have to realize that my journey is going to go a little bit slower. And that usually is what happens when I think you don't kind of compromise and try to fit into the environment that you find yourself in.
But you know what, a slow cooked pot tastes a lot better.
Ooh, okay. Damn, come on now.
I trust the shit.
Carissa, I wanna, you know, before we get into the great things you were doing, you know, it's always important, especially for our listeners who are inspired, you know, to understand the foundation phase, you know, the growing phase where you experimented to figure out what you're great at, you know, and where you find your beauty and you grow with it, you know. So can you give us a little understanding of when you were young and how you got into the space that you are in right now?
Yeah, so grew up in Cape Town in a colored family, in a colored community, and I think
I
feel like that's such a Joburg response anytime they find out I'm colored. They're like, oh, okay, you're my people. And I think that opportunities would have been cut off had I not been sent to schools outside of the neighborhood I grew up in, which was Mitchell's Plain. So I think I have to thank my parents for sacrificing so that I would be exposed to a lot more. Because I think access is what really stops people from being able to pursue their dreams or even realize that this dream is possible. So I think I was surrounded by a lot of Model C living, even though it was very much outside of where I came from. And it just kind of exposed me to a lot. I was a quiet kid as well. So I think that helped me to be very observant of the people around me. I don't think that I imagined myself to be where I am today just because I didn't see myself reflected anywhere. Not to say that light-skinned people, you know, I'm not trying to defute light-skinned privilege here. Let's not go there. But just in a South African context, you don't see, and I know we're the minority, but you don't see colored people with natural hair, for example, like on TV screens as radio presenters. I mean, how many can you name right now? And I do identify as black in SA, colored by culture, but just to see yourself, you know what I mean? To see people who have a similar background to you, it just was never there. But I think I just always knew I wanted to be in media in some sort of way, broadcasting and storytelling. So much so that I did job shadowing at a radio station in grade 11. As soon as I hit varsity, I went to UCT. I was in there. That was the first thing I did. I stepped into UCT radio and knew that for the next 3-4 years that this is going to be the space I need to grow my skills. Because outside of studying a BA, which to be honest might not get you very far, I needed that sort of skill set as a backup to know that when I step out of the space, when I've got my 2 degrees, I need to make sure that I can actually step into a space like this and be good.
Wow. She's amazing, man. There's my kuluma. When you teta, you know, I can listen to her all day.
You just need to let
your voice is for radio, it is for media, you know. I'm not just buying face, genuinely, although you're not a Pretoria person, but
remember we spoke about a certain radio station earlier on, and we were talking about how you think that the media kind of like blindside you, and people don't really tell you what exactly does the media industry entail. You know, I remember us having a conversation about that, but I just want to know, blindsided in which manner, and what are people supposed to know?
Be alert. Alert us.
Oh my god, it's such a tough one. And sometimes I feel a little bit weird being this vulnerable, because I'm like, nobody really speaks about these things, but it's a reality that so many of us face, and I don't get why people don't want to talk aren't open about it. I would say a warning is always have multiple streams of revenue. You know what I mean? Don't rely, for example, on Touch HD to take care of all your bills, because tomorrow they might tell you that you're not really where we're headed. You're not part of the vision that we're trying to get into, you know? And I just felt blindsided because I felt it wasn't communicated with me throughout the year.
It's very unfair.
Had you sat me down and told me, go left. I
you know what I'm saying?
Created options.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not like a hard-headed person. Like, I'm trying to do my best, you're trying to do your best. I'm trying to make the station sound better. But yeah, if you don't communicate that, I won't know. So I felt quite blindsided by it.
What really hit you hard, and what really hurt you the most from that experience?
I think it's a learning. Like, I think for the past couple months I had to kind of change my mindset as you didn't fail at this, you did a year there, and it was great. Take what you learned and move on. But I think, what hurt the most was just feeling blindsided. I was like, cool, this next year, this is what I'm planning on doing. This is the platform, this is where I'm headed. And to just be told that, no, that's not exactly what we're doing, without any alternatives or other options. It does make it a bit hard, because in commercial radio in the space, you can't apply for a job like you would being an accountant or something, right? It's not an open application for everyone to come through. Either you know somebody, or you have a stroke of luck that gets you somewhere.
Connection.
I love.
You know?
But it's in line.
I really love that you actually raised that. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
The thing of, you know what, you have to know somebody to be able to get into certain.
To get your foot in.
Yes, and you know, and I think that's what it's. I have to say it's unfair, because there's a lot of talent out there, man. There's a lot of people that have the voices for these things. They have everything figured out, but they just don't have that person. You know, and I think for me, I just want to communicate as to how do you think we can change that, maybe. You know, what steps? You know.
To be honest, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I think the industry in South Africa and the world over is being like this. You have to know somebody. And I think that they're gatekeepers that aren't willing to give up their places. And you have to go through it.
Unless they want you to do things that, you know, compromise your value.
And some people do, and that's their thing. I mean, do whatever you need to do. But I don't know. I feel like gatekeepers are they're just a barrier to progress. And so hard, and I don't know what an answer to that question is, man. Just network as hard as you can. See who you can use in some sort of sense to get your pinky toe into a door, because that's all you need, basically.
I like that because it links with our theme, you know, preparation meeting up with opportunity. You know, and you have to be prepared at all times for these things. So when it comes to social media, you know, and this is the reality, and I'm not saying it towards you, but to a lot of people. And the word that we said we're not going to use seemingly is going to pop up a lot. Authenticity. You know, there's a lot of people who are putting out a facade of what they are doing or are living a life. And whereas it's the total opposite in reality, you know, and you in that space where you are pushing your brand. And you know, I mean, I'm sure some people's perceptions could be, is she doing this? Is this her real life? You know, and what's your view on that? And maybe also guidance when it comes to social media and career-wise moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's your approach to it. I think that I've recently curated my Instagram to include accounts that are not trying to sell this BS lifestyle, because it really is smoke and mirrors. I mean, people are driving in cars they can't afford. People are living in the back. But when they're mobile, they're in their Gucci, they're in their Louis Vuitton. And that's fine if that's the game you're trying to play. But for me, like, how do you go to bed at night? Like, surely you don't have peace, you know what I'm saying? How do you close your eyes and sleep? You can't.
Wearing Gucci. And then you're still staying with mommy and dad.
Exactly. Which is fine. I mean, if you gotta do that, but
it's a must.
So PC, it's a problem. So I just think it is your approach to it. I surround myself with people that the pressure to be in Taboo every single weekend isn't there, because they are alternatives. Like, that isn't the only lifestyle that you can follow. That isn't the only lifestyle that's valid to be in the space. And I think it is a little bit harder, because sometimes I see myself as a pioneer in that way, where I'm trying to set a new standard. I'm trying to make sure that there are other ways to be. You know what I mean? Just because I'm a presenter, I'm an entertainer, doesn't mean that, number one, I've got to be shouting and screaming in the room because I've got to prove that I'm the loudest. Doesn't mean that I have to drive up in the flashiest car. Doesn't mean that I have to live in a mansion. I'm pushing my dreams just like anybody else's. And whatever comes with that, because there are some perks, that's dope. But I don't think that people should position themselves, especially like, oh, we're lying, guys. You know what I mean?
It's not true.
It's not true. There's so many people that aren't in the space that aspire to that, but they're aspiring to things that they can never touch, that you aren't even touching. So what's the point of it? I remember Zania, who's a talk show host, was also saying, as the media in whatever capacity, you have that responsibility because you're shaping the minds of the next generation or your neighbor or your cousin, whatever it may be. So you should kind of feel the burden of that. I know not everyone does, but to an extent, man, whatever comes out your mouth, whatever you're trying to portray, somebody is taking that seriously, and somebody is looking up to that as what they should be, if they should be in that space, or what they should be thinking, what they should be wearing, whatever it may be.
Where do you stand, as PC as you are, in that? You know, as somebody who has knocked on 6 doors, 6 times on one door and 100 times on another door. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who's trying to get the door open, and who squeeze their way in. Do you know what I'm saying? Where are you on that? Do you feel that, you know, on both sides, they could be open, like, as people who've graduated in media, do more, as industry, open up more, you know, where do you stand?
I think that, like, on the graduate side, or on the people who are trying to get inside, we are trying hard. So I don't even want to put that responsibility on you. I don't even think it is you. I think that it definitely, again, to come back to the gatekeeper talk, it's all about that. And I think we need to open up the industry. I am tired of seeing the same faces. I am tired of hearing the same voices. And I get that we're all trying to get bags, and, you know, this industry is a bit shaky when it does come to money, but give other kids a chance as well, because it's not to say there is a limit on talent. There's so many kids out there that just don't have that opportunity. And maybe you need to create your own. Maybe that's the next conversation. I know Tyler Perry mentioned that in one of his recent speeches, that stop trying to get a seat at their table. Like, bring your own chairs and build your own. Whatever that looks like, which is why I'm also trying to tap into, like, the vlogging side of things, because the internet is endless. Like, it's boundless. You can really do what you need to do and push yourself there.
I'll ask you a direct question. Where do you want to go? Where do you, and I think it's a simple but it can be tricky question at the same time. You know, where do you see yourself in the next It can be tomorrow, it can be the next 3 years, the future. You know, where do you want to go? What's the plan? What's your vision? Especially when you're so diverse in everything you do.
I believe in the power of vision boards. Let me just put that out there, because everything that I've like planned for my life has happened in some sort of way. But I also leave space for things to just kind of happen, because when you have too much control, I think that you can get frustrated when things aren't happening as you want them to, when you want them to. But I definitely, generally speaking, see myself both on TV and radio.
Nice.
I've been seeing it done in SA, so it's not like it's an impossible dream to kind of juggle the two together. But also in the capacity that, I don't want to say inspires, because I feel like that's so corny, but in the capacity where I have a voice and a voice that matters and a voice of reason as well. I don't know what that will look like. I don't know if it's something that I need to create myself, because being in a space of waiting for the right show, waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right content that you want to speak to, it does get a bit hard, because as a South African industry, I feel like we're using the same thing over and over because it works apparently. But we're not challenging people. Like, how do you know what people want if you're not offering that to them? If you have two options, I'm gonna go for those two options. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of diversification needs to happen in the media and in the entertainment industry. I mean, in the US, they've been on it for a while, so I can't really compare.
They're the gurus on media.
Exactly. I can't really compare, but I think it's a really good blueprint to look at. There's so many options, man. There's so many crossovers, like this show, for example, bringing together sport and entertainment. Why not?
Why not?
Shout out.
And I mean, even the government has done that. The Department of Sports and Art and Culture as well.
Yeah, so why not? I just think that chances should be given and calculated risks should be taken. And they're not. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate your time. I so appreciate the effort that you put into liking, into commenting, into being part of this family, and the data or the Wi-Fi that you use to watch this too, because I know how real it can get. Okay, so I just want to say that I really appreciate that. And next week, of course, I'll be back again with another video. But until then, here is to more growing and becoming.